building a hot rod from scratch.
Throughout the process of this build, we've been trying to decide how we want to paint the 69 Camaro. But now we have carbon fiber that we want to leave exposed, and that gives us a few more options to work through. Well, the Camaro's coming along. We've got a lot more of our carbon parts in. On the rear, the carbon parts that have come in pretty much match the rendering. What we're going over before we go to the front is, do we like the original rendering on the stripes? Do we enhance the carbon fiber a little bit more so that you can really tell it? We've changed this back panel out, complete carbon fiber trunk, and spoiler. Brian, what's your thoughts on cutting the line? Do you like the way it is on the rendering?
I like where the black is as far as the width of the stripe. I think we should not do it black. We should just leave it the carbon fiber.
Yes.
But I would alter the rest of the stripes. So the red, it's traditional. It's very straightforward. It's simplistic. There's nothing wrong with it, but I think that we can enhance it and make it a little bit better with some other colors.
The line on the front is made to go through the seats, through the inside of the car, come up out of the car, come along the back. So whatever we do here, we'll have to alter in the interior if we want to keep that theme. I guess my question was, do we just do this drop down, or do we bring the stripe up and over and bring it along and all the way back up and over?
Yeah, I'd carry the red or the pinstripe across.
That's what I was thinking.
And then in the front, we could do the same thing as it dives down to the front end before you get into the header panel, and cut a line there to make it match.
Yeah, we'll go up there and look next. So in the front, beautiful carbon fiber hood, which all I think we need to do is polish it like this. I think we'll take a lot of his cues, but now that we have more carbon, I think we accentuate it more. Sure. It makes the car more unique.
And something unique you can do too that I've done in the past is if you could take actually a transparent red, if you like the red, and carry that over the carbon. Let's say the graphic stops here, your base color, bring your candy red through here, and have the carbon show through the candy, which is kind of a cool effect, and then have the solid red stripe run through that, so you have
multiple layers. That's pretty cool.
Give it a lot of depth.
Maybe you could take the Barrett Jackson and ghost that in the red.
Sure, yeah, we'd do that as well.
That'd be cool.
That would be really
very
cool.
Unique, yeah.
So there's a bunch of different ways we can play with it. I have some ideas. I'm going to work up a rendering for you, or a couple of renderings, so we can discuss that and maybe change the base color.
You know, I like the Cortez Silver, but, we were in Houston last week looking at a lot of supercars. It's amazing how many are coming that flat gray now. Not flat, but non-metallic gray. They did a great job on the carbon, and I hate to hide it.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
it's beautiful. This is our little touch of a European high-end carbon fiber sports car, the way that they book matched it, and the workmanship is outstanding. So
it's beautiful.
Let's accentuate it.
Yeah, not a problem.
It's on you now.
Thank you. So we went through final primer, which is a primer surfacer. So it's just a high build primer. We let that cure for about 2 to 3 weeks. That way nothing's going to shrink, nothing's going to move. We've since blocked the car down. The parts and the jams we've taken down and painted those first. Craig finally gave me the go-ahead on a silver that he liked. Similar to the Cortez silver that he wanted originally, but I kind of tweaked it a little bit more to fit the style of the car. We've got the engine compartment done, or the firewall done, door jams, trunk jams, and then I can show you the parts inside. Everything will be sanded, put back together, and then I'll paint the outside of the car, blow it all apart again, and then re-clear everything, and there's some graphics. So the reason that we're doing it apart is that you can't paint the whole thing in one shot, inside and outside. And for silver and metallics, it's really important to have all the panels next to each other as you're painting them. So I still have all the rest of the parts inside. If you want to take a look, I can better explain how I'm setting up the carbon and how I'm setting up those parts for final clear. In here, we have parts that are going to be ready for assembly on the car once I'm finished with it out there to bring it back in. The underside, or all the jams, have been sealed, based in the silver that we picked, and then clear coated. So all that stuff is protected and done. The outside is the primer, which has been sanded, and it's basically ready for assembly on the car. So this will all be back taped and protected. I'll shoot the door once they're in place. The fenders, the same thing. The inside is already done. This will be back taped. It'll be put on the car. So I'll be able to shoot the outside of the fender, the outside of the doors, and the rest of the car all at once. There's continuity running through the whole thing. So the hood is a little unique. So once you get into the hood and the deck lid and some of the other parts, they're carbon fiber, as we know. So this panel is carbon fiber. It's going to be stained carbon fiber, which is why I have it masked off and I didn't paint it silver. And that's probably going to stay flat. So I'm going to leave that. I'll run a little pinstripe around it and it's pretty much done. On the opposite side where the stripe running through the center of the car is going to be, I have that masked off as well, which might be a little bit hard to see. So this is carbon fiber as well. This is going to be the silver once it's installed on the car. Again, shot with the rest of the car. And then over here we have the rest of the parts. So these I've jammed and put into base coat and base coat clear, similar to what I'm going to do the outside of the car before I take it apart. So it's the actual silver on the parts that, let's say, are going to get buried when I mount it. So deck lid as an example. I've based that. When that rests on the car, this is already in color. I'll then spray color on this side. I'll take it apart, I'll peel this off, I'll hang it, and then I can clear the whole thing in one shot.
So we just finished prepping up the Camaro, went through, wiped down everything, and so next we're gonna get ready to hang all the parts back up on the car so that all the base coat can flow out properly and yeah, get ready to spray it.
The parts aren't lined up exactly where they're supposed to be. I just need the same plane. So if you were to imagine the metallic are little pieces of metal flake, okay? And when they're sprayed, they settle. So if all the flakes are settled and they're pointing in this direction, here and on the quarter panel, it's gonna reflect the same color. If I shoot the fender on an angle and they lay flat, and I shoot this straight up, the metallic here is going to be at this angle, the metallic here is going to be at this angle, and I'll have two different colors. So it's called a flop. So the color will flop depending on how the metallic shines back at your eye, but it'll stay like that. And when I put it together, it won't match. So as long as the planes are all in the same spot where they're going to be relative to final installation, we're good to go. So we got it out of the booth, paint is cured enough that we can then start back taping for the graphics. I'm still working off that original drawing to a degree. So right here we have the basic layout for what the graphics is going to be. There's going to be a wide candy red stripe on the driver's side that then's going to taper a little bit, and I can show you what that looks like with a logo inside of it. The carbon fiber is going to stay carbon fiber, and then there's going to be a small pinstripe running to the outside edge of that as well. The 1/4 inch candy stripe is just going to wrap around all of the carbon fiber just to kind of encapsulate it, make it look like it's a finished graphic. So if we move over to the hood, this has been taped up. The carbon fiber is in the center, which is taped up. This is the 1/4 inch stripe on the carbon fiber that will be the candy red. And then I have the pinstripe area open and taped up as well, where the silver meets the carbon fiber. So the graphic, the wide graphic that I showed you on the back of the car is going to begin here. So it'll run through here, and then run through the deck lid and whatnot. Inside this, I have a logo that's ghosted, that's going to stay carbon fiber. So when you look at it, you'll see the true carbon fiber of the hood shining through that logo with the candy red wrapped around it. Yeah, so then that's going to be there, and then on the deck lid as well. So that stripe will carry through the hood. Same side on the driver's side. That logo is replicated in the back as well, just to match what's on the front. So you'll have the logo twice on the running down the driver's side. Then that graphic will run across the spoiler, and that'll be just one solid stripe that's contained throughout the top of the car. Again, similar to the drawing that was originally done from the very beginning. Graphics will be done. Everything will be peeled. I'll re-clean everything, hang it up in the booth, and then I'll run my final clear on top of all of that and let that cure, knock it flat and polish it. If not, I'm gonna have to knock that down and then run it through another set of clear, and I could just flow clear that, which means you're not shooting for depth, you're not shooting for build, you're just shooting for gloss. And I'll do that, and then it'll be finished with the rest of the parts. Run them through final polish if need be and whatnot. And we're done, time for assembly.
Now that we got the base and clear laid down on the car, we're just going back through and doing our final cut and polish. If y'all want to see 3 more hours of sanding in this beautiful lab, then like and subscribe for more.